Years later, it looks like the slide for Dolph is still going strong. Word is, Yo Gotti and his crew are being hunted and scrambling. From Gotti supposedly leaving Memphis and dipping to Texas.
Dallas, what's up? We're going to Dallas right now, man. Hey, let me hear that Travis Utopia. You know, Utopia this week.
To rumors that he might be next up on the feds list for Dolph's murder.
That Yo Gotti, say your prayers. You better say your prayers.
You know they coming, don't you?
Yo Gotti. So there's been a lot of talk about Yo Gotti possibly moving CMG's headquarters to Dallas, Texas. On top of that, he just signed a rising Dallas artist, Zillionaire Doe, which has people speculating that Gotti might be making a calculated move. Some believe he's feeling the pressure, realizing that time might be running out for him. After all, he was widely recognized as young Dolph's biggest hater. Even Dolph himself said it.
He's my biggest hater. You know what I mean? He wanted to sign me. He wanted me to come over there and let him give me some money, give me a car and all that. Nah, I don't need that.
Plus, the last thing he'd want to do is end up like his brother, Big Jook. We all know Big Jook was one of the casualties of the ongoing slide for Dolph, and many think Gotti is trying to avoid meeting the same fate.
Well, at least 5 police sources have confirmed with Fox 13 that the person killed is Anthony Mims, also known as Big Jook. Now, Big Jook is the brother of rapper Yo Gotti.
But it's not just the streets he has to worry about. The law might be closing in too. Recently, Whack 100 stirred up the conversation even more by predicting that Yo Gotti could be next on the feds list. He even went as far as advising Gotti to start saying his prayers.
These two things are gang, and your gang paid this dude's attorney $50,000 because you hired him to do a hit.
Whack speculated that if the feds decide to go after Gotti, they might label CMG, or Collective Music Group, as a gang, just like they did with YSL in Atlanta.
Wouldn't it be smart to blame it on the dead man, though?
No, he was part of the company. They saying CMG, they're going to classify it as a gang. They're going to try to target.
He also pointed out that prosecutors could bring up the 2017 attempt on Dolph's life when over 100 bullets were sprayed into his SUV in Charlotte, North Carolina, and tie it to CMG, framing it as part of an ongoing war.
CMG and PRE shooting at the back in the Carolinas. Motherfuckers doing songs, shot the Sprinter 100 times, bulletproof, get dead. PRE, they're gonna take that shit and paint the perfect movie.
Whack's comments referenced key testimony from Cornelius Smith, one of young Dolph's killers, during the recent trial of co-defendant Justin Johnson. While on the witness stand, Smith made a shocking revelation. He testified that he and Johnson carried out the hit on Dolph in November 2021 to collect on a $100,000 bounty allegedly put up by Yo Gotti's brother, Big Jook.
Big Jook had a hit on Dolph's head or whatnot, so...
How do you know that Big Jook had a hit on Dolph's head?
Quit had told me about it.
How much money was it supposed to be?
$100,000 on Dolph's head.
And had you agreed to do this hit?
Yes, sir.
Smith said he was promised a $40,000 cut for his role in the murder, but ended up with just $800 before he was arrested in early 2022.
Me and him supposed to be giving Quit $10,000 apiece.
All right, so you and him are going to give Govan $10,000 apiece?
Yeah.
And how much are you going to get?
I was getting 40, he was getting 40.
Okay.
However, he also dropped another bombshell. He claimed that an unnamed person from CMG later paid $50,000 to retain a lawyer for him after he was charged.
Hey, bro, that nigga got up there and said, didn't CMG pay for your attorney $50,000? Yeah. But they didn't give it to me. He said, yeah. But they paid for it because you killed Dolph, right? Yeah.
If these claims hold up, Yo Gotti could be in some serious trouble, but some people believe the streets might get to him before the law does. They're saying that the slide for Dolph is still in motion and could reach him even in Dallas. Young Dolph. Because from the moment the news broke that Dolph had been killed, everyone knew things were about to get ugly. This wasn't just about losing a rapper, it was about Memphis losing one of its biggest heroes, and Memphis wasn't going to let that slide. Even the police knew he was coming. They issued warnings telling people to stay inside unless it was absolutely necessary to go out.
Tonight, we strongly encourage everyone to stay home if you do not have to be out.
Everyone to stay home tonight after rapper Young Dolph is gunned down and killed.
They understood that retaliation was inevitable, and they weren't wrong. Ever since Dolph was taken out, his people have been on a mission, spinning blocks and making sure that anyone even remotely connected to his murder felt the heat. Young Dolph was a beloved figure in his community, a philanthropist, and a proud advocate for his city. He put Memphis on his back and never stopped giving back. Every year, he made sure people in his city were taken care of.
It's good in the neighborhood, always give it back to this neighborhood, always give it back to his community.
From handing out Thanksgiving turkeys to donating to schools and helping out individuals across the country.
He wasn't just a rapper, though. He was a family man. He had a wife and 2 children. He is known for giving back to his community here in Memphis. Every year, he gave out turkeys for Thanksgiving.
He was deeply involved with the Ida Mae Foundation, named after his grandmother, which focused on charitable initiatives in Memphis. When 2 baristas at Duke University got fired for playing his hit song, Get Paid, Dolph personally gave them $20,000 out of his own pocket.
They fired 2 workers from a coffee shop for bumping my in the snow. Until y'all get y'all a new job, till y'all find y'all a new job, I got $20,000 for y'all right now.
Every year, he played Santa at Memphis's K97 radio station, handing out gifts to underprivileged kids. Even 2 days before his death, he was still giving back. He visited the West Cancer Center and Research Institute in Germantown to personally thank the staff for their hard work. That visit was deeply personal to him because his aunt was receiving treatment there, and both his grandmother and uncle had been treated at the same clinic in the past.
I decided to visit West Cancer Center, the clinic today, just to show my appreciation for over the years. My aunt, she's currently here, she has cancer. My grandmother had cancer, my uncle had cancer, and they all came through these doors. And I just wanted to show up.
Now imagine all of that, a man who was a hero to his city, a man who inspired and gave so much, being taken away forever. The pain Memphis felt was unbearable, and what followed was a level of chaos the city had never seen before. In the month after Dolph's murder, Memphis turned into a war zone. Retaliation after retaliation shook the city to its core. At least 40 people were believed to have been killed in direct connection to Dolph's death, and Memphis quickly climbed the ranks to become one of the most dangerous cities in the country. But the real question is, just how many lives have been lost in the wake of young Dolph's death?
I didn't know that Dolph was loved like this. They've literally been Memphis for 3 straight years since young Dolph died. I've never seen some shit like this.
Derion "D Money" Childs. The first person to face the consequences of young Dolph's murder was a clear message to anyone remotely involved, whether they pulled the trigger, played a role behind the scenes, or even just knew the wrong people. One of the earliest casualties was comedian Derion "D Money" Childs, who made the fatal mistake of joking about Dolph's death online.
In a series of Facebook posts, Childs questioned the outrage that people are feeling about the death of Dolph. His sister Shamicia Mason says his words were taken out of context.
He must have thought it was just internet talk, something that would blow over in a few days. But in Memphis, the streets don't forget, and they definitely don't forgive. Just a week after his post, Childs was shot and killed. His death sent a chilling message. This wasn't just rap beef.
It's this video of Derion Childs that captivated the hearts of millions. Now, years later, many are talking about how the Memphis comedian died days after making remarks about young Dolph on social media.
Big Nuski. Childs' murder was just the beginning. As the months went on, more and more people connected to Dolph's murder started dropping like flies. The next high-profile target was Big Nuski, a rapper signed to Moneybagg Yo and the cousin of Big 30. In January 2022, Nuski was gunned down outside the New Horizon River Apartments on Kazaza Road. It was around 7 p.m. when the shots rang out, and when the smoke cleared, the 26-year-old rapper was dead.
Now, what we do know right now is that police are reporting that one male victim was shot here on this scene. Now, again, the victim did not survive his injuries. The victim is 26 years old. The victim who's pronounced dead is 26 years old.
But this wasn't just some random act of violence. The streets quickly started buzzing with rumors that Nuski had ties to Justin Johnson, aka Straight Drop, one of the main suspects in Dolph's killing. It didn't take long for people to dig up old photos showing Nuski and Straight Drop posing in front of the same car, fueling speculation that there was more to his death than met the eye. Some people believed it was another calculated hit in the name of revenge. As the bodies continued to drop, a pattern started emerging. Most of the people being targeted had one thing in common. They were allegedly linked to CMG and Yo Gotti, whether directly or through street affiliations.
A high-profile gang member was killed in a shooting in Orange Mound this afternoon. This is Joshua Taylor, was named a person of interest in the young Dolph murder case. Neighbors telling us they think the victim was actually shot last night.
CEO Teezy. But their ties went beyond the music industry. Many of them were also connected to the infamous Memphis gang Trula Mafia. One of the biggest names on that list was Joshua Taylor, aka CEO Teezy, a high-ranking member of the Trula Mafia and someone who had been on the police radar for his alleged involvement in Dolph's murder. Teezy's time was running out. On June 14, 2023, police were called to Spotswood Avenue near Bunton Street around 12:56 p.m. after reports of a man down. When they arrived, they found Taylor's lifeless body inside a car riddled with gunshot wounds. According to reports, he had actually been shot the night before, but his body wasn't discovered until the next afternoon near a church. His death marked yet another name crossed off the list in this ongoing war.
Vitalis Taylor, also known as CEO Teezy, was found shot to death in Orange Mound Wednesday at Spotswood and Bunton. Those who live nearby tell us Taylor was actually shot the night before, discovered lifeless.
And just when people thought the violence might slow down, another shocking murder made it clear that no one was safe. Lotta Desto. Up-and-coming female rapper Lotta Desto, whose real name was Destiny Golden, was shot and killed in what many believe to be another act of retribution for young Dolph. Desto was with a female friend in the 5500 block of Richmond Avenue around 2:40 a.m. when she pulled up behind a dark-colored four-door vehicle at a traffic light. Before she even knew what was happening, two shooters emerged from a car and opened fire, hitting her multiple times. She died at the scene while her friend was seriously injured but survived. At first, people were shocked. Why would someone go after Lotta Desto? She wasn't even directly tied to Dolph's murder. But then a major plot twist came to light. Turns out her father was none other than Hernandez Govan, the man accused of orchestrating the entire hit on young Dolph.
Govan asked for young Dolph to be murdered.
Mr. Govan has been indicted and is in custody for being involved in the young Dolph. He played the role of the person who solicited.
After Govan's arrest, he went online and made a cryptic post, seemingly hinting that his own actions might have played a role in his daughter's death. It was a brutal reality. Desto had been caught in the crossfire of her father's choices. If there was any doubt that Dolph's people were moving with calculated precision, this murder erased it. Tomanuel Benson. And they weren't done yet. The next major hit came on August 18, 2023. The Memphis Police Department responded to a shooting at a BP gas station on South Parkway East around 9:30 a.m. When they arrived, they found a man lying on the ground with a fatal gunshot wound. That man was Tomanuel Benson, Black Youngsta's own brother. The shooter didn't even try to hide their face. They walked up in broad daylight and handled business, making it clear that they weren't worried about being caught. The police even had a clear image of the suspect, which they quickly released to the public, along with a $5,000 reward for any information leading to an arrest.
He was wanted on second-degree murder charges for the shooting in August of Tomanuel Benson, the brother of Memphis rapper Black Youngsta.
Tomanuel's murder sent shockwaves through the city, but to many, it wasn't surprising. Black Youngsta had been one of young Dolph's most vocal enemies. Back in 2017, Black Youngsta was arrested in connection with an attempt on Dolph's life, where over 100 rounds were fired at his bulletproof SUV. Though he beat the charges, the bad blood between him and Dolph never went away. For years, Black Youngsta taunted Dolph at every opportunity, from diss tracks to Instagram posts. Now the same war he had been a part of had come knocking at his own front door. Losing his brother to the same cycle of violence he once glorified was a painful reality he now had to face. Big Jook. Yo Gotti may have thought he was untouchable in his whole war, but Dolph's crew had other plans. While most of the people connected to Dolph's murder were already facing the consequences, Gotti had managed to avoid any direct retaliation, at least for a while. But as time went on, it became clear that PRE wasn't going to let him off the hook that easily. They had already hit plenty of people in his circle, and it seemed like they were working their way up the chain. The message was simple: if you had anything to do with Dolph's murder, you were going to feel the heat. And they almost made Gotti himself feel it in the worst way. They even went after his family. His mother, of all people, was reportedly a target. Luckily, she managed to escape, but his brother, Big Jook, wasn't so fortunate. The irony of Big Jook's death is what made it even more chilling. He wasn't out in the streets, at a club, or even one of his usual hangout spots. He was at a funeral, paying respects to a loved one. But in the world of street politics, there's no such thing as a safe space. When it's your time, it's your time. According to reports, Jook and Yo Gotti were both at the funeral service for their relative, OG Eric Bolden. A video clip shared by YouTube journalist Seti Nash showed them at the service, standing by the casket. But what most people didn't notice at the time was that there were two men lurking in the back of the church, watching Big Jook's every move. They were waiting for the perfect opportunity, and they found it at the repass after the service. Yo Gotti didn't attend the repass. If he did, things might have gone down even worse. But Big Jook did. As Jook got into his vehicle outside Perignon's restaurant and event center on Winchester Road, the shooters made their move. Some say Yo Gotti's mother was in the car with him, but that didn't stop the hit from going down. The moment Jook sat down, bullets started flying. The car was sprayed up, and while Gotti's mom somehow managed to escape, Big Jook wasn't so lucky.
Multiple sources tell Action News 5 that Memphis rapper Yo Gotti's older brother, Anthony Mims, also known as Big Jook, was shot and killed.
He was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. He didn't make it. Surveillance footage later caught a white SUV with no plates speeding away from the scene. It was clear this was a targeted hit, and everyone knew exactly why.
Tonight, police are looking for a white Ford Explorer SUV in connection with the shooting. It has dark tinted windows and black wheels. A witness told police they saw suspects in the SUV speeding away.
See, Big Jook wasn't just Yo Gotti's brother. He was also one of the loudest people mocking Dolph after his murder. He taunted Dolph's artists, flaunted his money, and basically made it clear that he had no remorse for what happened. At one point, he was even caught on video disrespecting a Dolph mural, proving just how deep the beef ran.
I don't paint no beside two real with a in the middle, man. Y'all don't do that, man. Don't about legacy. So right here, y'all, two gangsters.
But what really tied him to Dolph's death was his connections. PRE artist Grove Hero had already gone online after Dolph was killed, putting Jook on blast. He claimed Jook was the one who put up the $40,000 bounty to have Dolph taken out. Grove Hero even said that if he ever ran into Jook, it would be on sight.
And keep in mind, I said, if I see Jook, if I see Gotti, if I see Migo, or if I see Youngster, I'ma get on that. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else, bro.
And now with Jook's death, people couldn't help but connect the dots.
Bro, I'm not no shake, bro. I ain't no to tell me to put $40,000 on my head and I'm finna do this, bro. Anybody that associate with you, and this ain't got nothing to do with them other folks, bro. It's certain folks that got something to do with this. It's Jook, and Gotti really ain't got nothing to do with this shit. But Jook is his brother. It's Jook, it's Migo, it's Youngster. These the folks that got something to do with this shit, dog.
Even before this, Jook was known to be around some key figures who were linked to Dolph's assassination. He was seen on video hanging out with CEO Teezy, one of the guys reportedly involved in Dolph's murder. On top of that, he had pictures with Hernandez Govan, the man the authorities believe orchestrated the whole thing. With ties like that, it was only a matter of time before the streets came for him. Yo Gotti versus young Dolph. And with every major hit, one name kept coming up. Yo Gotti. The beef between him and Dolph had been brewing for years. It all started when Dolph turned down Yo Gotti's offer to sign with CMG. Back in 2014, Dolph was making waves in Memphis, and Gotti saw his potential. But Dolph wasn't interested in being under another rapper. He wanted to build his own empire.
So people like, oh, he popped off because of Gotti. You feel what I'm saying? Which I can't do that because I got too much of my own time and money invested in it. You feel what I'm saying? So, like I said, like...
And I know Gotti respect that because he did the same thing.
That decision rubbed Gotti the wrong way, and from that moment on, things started going downhill. In 2016, Dolph made it clear that there was tension between them when he tweeted, "Bro went from being my #1 fan and wanting to sign me to being my biggest hater." That same year, he added fuel to the fire when he dropped his album, King of Memphis. The title alone was a direct shot at Gotti, who had been calling himself the King of Memphis for years. The move didn't sit right with Gotti's camp, and things escalated fast. Black Youngsta jumped into the beef head first. In March 2017, he went online, calling Dolph out and even threatening to slap him. And then he pulled up to Dolph's hood with his crew, flashing guns and letting everyone know they were ready for a war.
Right now, cuz. Can't stay right now, cuz. What Dolph at, cuz? Where he at, cuz? Where he at? Where he at right now? Where he at?
Things got deadly when Dolph's car was shot up with over 100 rounds. Miraculously, he survived thanks to his bulletproof SUV, but the beef didn't end there. Later in 2017, Dolph was shot outside the Shoe Palace in LA. This time, it was serious. He got hit multiple times and had to be rushed to the hospital. And news broke that Yo Gotti was named a person of interest by the LAPD. Sources revealed that both Dolph and Gotti were staying at the same hotel at the time, and their entourages had gotten into an argument. That argument turned into a fight, and the fight turned into gunfire. Dolph survived, but this incident proved that the beef was deeper than rap. Yo Gotti was even charged with attempted murder, but those charges were eventually dropped. Now, years later, Dolph is gone, but the war is still raging, and the streets haven't forgotten. One by one, people connected to his murder are getting taken out, and the circle is getting smaller.